Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
Hello, welcome to episode 182 of the best bits of Atom Radio's Breakfast Show. And this is Mark Denholm from The Breakfast Show, guiding you through however long this lasts for worth of best bits, least worst bits, call them what you want. On the way, to guide you through half term as well, by the way, enjoy that. We've got drive-through dilemma and a Crossrail dilemma. We've got epic trolling by a primary school child. We've also got an important question. Does meditation work or not? Or at least in this case, did it work for me? And we've got worrying stats and worrying facts. All that and more makes up episode 182 of the podcast. Enjoy.
Mark Denholm
At breakfast podcast.
6:17. I've just been reminded that Love Island is just 2 weeks away. Didn't do well avoiding Eurovision, I must remember. Don't watch it and block the hashtag.
This is Mark Denholm
at breakfast.
Atom Radio.
Streaming from Slough, banging out the anthems. This is Mark Denholm at breakfast. 17 minutes to 7 o'clock. I want to take one of your 3,000 because, think on this, on average, a human being will have 3,000 thoughts every day. Who actually counted that? I mean, seriously, can you sit there? I wonder what the weather will be like. 1. What should I wear today? 2. Who counted them?
Mark Denholm at breakfast.
This is Atom Radio.
Today, though, we want to talk about a man from Lancashire who went to McDonald's yesterday and ordered his breakfast at 9:30. He claims that he went before and was asked to park in a car parking space and was left there for 15 minutes waiting for his breakfast. So when he turned up yesterday and they asked him to park in a car parking space, he flat out refused. Then refused the food, refused the refund. And this man who arrived at 9:30 was still there at 3 o'clock yesterday. Everyone else waiting in the drive-thru had to reverse out before McDonald's closed the drive-thru. I want to know today what annoying thing has happened that gets to you on air at atomradio.co.uk. How you get in touch on any given morning, and indeed this Monday morning as well. Morning, Caroline. I think we've all been victim to this, Caroline, at some point in time. Caroline says, when you go somewhere really, really busy and the car parking spaces are limited, and then you find that someone has parked so badly that they are taking up 2 spaces. Yes, Caroline, yes. That happened to me last week. I had to go to the doctor last week, and as I pulled up at the doctor's, I thought, yeah, there we are, there's a couple of spaces, and the man in front of me reversed into both spaces. And I even said to him, are you actually leaving that like that? He just shrugged his shoulders and walked in, told me he was in a rush. Very true, Caroline, when people take up 2 spaces when they park badly. Well, the other thing is as well, if you have one of these long wheelbase vans and you go to a supermarket and you manage to take up 4 spaces, that's even worse. It's a car park, not a van park.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
17 minutes to 7 o'clock. Morning and welcome to Tuesday. It's Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Loud, proud and standing out for the crowd. This day 19 years ago, Britain's entry in the Eurovision Song Contest failed to score a single point. A fact later blamed on the UK stance during the Iraq conflict. And they say it's not a political competition at all, do they?
Mark Denholm
at breakfast.
This is Atom Radio.
Streaming from Slough, banging out the anthems. This is Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Tuesday morning, 24th May, and finally it's open. TfL Rail, Crossrail, or the Elizabeth line, call it whatever you want. It is finally open. Only really of any benefit to you if you are Paddington or East, though, because if you are on the west, then you can go as far as Paddington before you have to get off and change, and then you can go from Paddington to out to Abbeywood or Shenfield. But if you are coming in from Reading, Slough, then you still have to change at Paddington. And of course, there's still the glaring mistake while specking the trains. Imagine, get up in the morning, you have a cup of coffee, maybe 2 cups of coffee, maybe a cup of tea or 2 cups of tea. Then you think, I'll get on the train at Reading and I'll go all the way to Abbeywood or Shenfield when it's open, only to find there's no toilet on the train. That's going to be a bit of a nuisance, isn't it? After you've had a couple of morning drinks to get your day going, you get on the train and you have to get off and wait for the next train if you need to answer the call.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
Welcome to Wednesday. It is Mark Denholm at breakfast, loud, proud and standing out from the crowd and banging out the anthems on a hump day morning. Hope that you are fine, fit and well, and I hope that your Wednesday is as good as a day was for a young girl in Orpington. she met the Prime Minister on a school visit. The Prime Minister got ambushed to be invited to a party. She handed him a little note that said, "Oh, come to our party, love from... ... Mr. Johnson then said, thank you very much." I think that is the definition of epic trolling by a primary school child. Amazing. Well done to the primary school child.
This is Mark Denham
At breakfast.
Atom Radio.
Meditation can improve concentration. Hold on. Now, what was I going to say? No, it's not worked. Meditation has not in any way whatsoever helped improve my concentration.
This is Mark Denham
At breakfast.
Atom Radio.
And I want to run something by you today. A new study shows women on average tell 11 lies per week. Men on average tell 58 lies per week. Now, at first, that statistic may seem slightly skewed. Don't forget, though, that Boris Johnson is a man and not a woman. When you average all that up, that would explain why men perhaps are slightly higher than women in terms of the average. But it is said, though, that men will lie many more times a week than women. And I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I know some women, and I think, whenever you open your mouth, I don't know that it's the truth. But then again, I suppose there are some men that are the same. I would like to know today, what is the last lie that you told? All right, a biggie, a small one, whatever it was, a whopper or just a little white one. What was the last lie that you told?
Mark Denham.
At breakfast. Podcast.
17 minutes to 7 o'clock morning. Welcome to Thursday, Mark Denham at breakfast. Do you know, roughly 6 billion people on Earth own a phone. Only 4.5 billion people on Earth, however, have access to a working toilet. I think something may have gone wrong there.
This is Mark Denham
At breakfast.
Atom Radio.
Morning. 8:15, Mark Denham at breakfast. School run time. It's a Thursday morning. I just want to draw your attention to a headline here. A senior officer, police officer this is, who sold £150 an hour threesomes with his paramedic girlfriend. Well, the headline, The Swinging Detective.
Mark Denham at breakfast.
This is Atom Radio.
14 to 9, Mark Denham at breakfast on Atom Radio. Think on this, people who spend more money on material items rather than experiences seem to be shallow and unhappy. Science says so. Don't shoot the messenger.
Mark Denham.
At breakfast. Podcast.
Just think, at one point in time, you and indeed I were both world record holders. From the moment we were born, we were at that point in time the youngest person in the world.
This is Mark Denham
At breakfast.
Atom Radio.
Banging out the anthems, this is Mark Denham at breakfast with Deep Blue Something and Breakfast at Tiffany's up and good to go next. First, though, in amongst the Chancellor, giving away money, £400 to everyone, and other bits and pieces to those on means-tested benefits, to those who are pensioners or those who are disabled. I today virtually would like to give you something absolutely free for a year. In that what I'm suggesting here, and this is hypothetical only, do not hold me to it, is that whatever you spent on one thing of your choosing last year, you would have the same amount of that thing for this year for free. And therefore, I ask you on air at atomradio.co.uk, what is the one thing that you would choose? And Flick, well, I don't know, Flick, because I think this may be cheating. Because I did say the amount that you spent last year, but yours is accrued, is it not? Now, what I'm talking about here is Flick says holidays. My 2 2020 holidays were postponed, and I ended up last year having 4 holidays because I had 2 for 2020 that were both postponed due to lockdown, and I had 2 that I'd already booked in 2021 as well. So I ended up having 4 holidays. Therefore, if I could have 4 holidays this year, then I'd be very grateful. Now, hold on, Flick. Hold on. When did you book these holidays, right? Because you said that you already had 2021 booked. When did you book it? What I'm basically proposing is something that you've spent out on in the last 12 months. I would give you the same amount to spend on the same thing in the coming 12 months. But certainly your 2020 holidays would have been outside of the 12 months, would they not? So although you got to take 4 holidays last year, you didn't spend out on them, so you couldn't claim them under my scheme. That would be fraudulent, Flick.
Mark Denholm.
At breakfast.
Podcast.
And on the other side of Flick's email as well, how do you manage to get enough holiday off of work to be able to fit in 4 holidays a year? Unless they're all like just under 1 week, how do you manage to get in? Like, if you went on 4 fortnight holidays, do you get 8 weeks off of work? Probably not, no. And then when you consider travel time as well, it'd be over 8 weeks off of work as well. So, naughty Flick, slightly bending the rules on that particular subject of conversation. It's half term as of now, Saturday the 28th of May when this is released. It is half term across the UK, so enjoy whether you are off this week or not. I will not be, and I will be back on Monday, banging out the anthems between 6 and 10, and you can listen online on mobile and on smart speaker on atomradio.co.uk, on TuneIn, Radio Box, Streamer, iTunes Radio, and indeed any other way that you can think of where it involves listening on the internet. So Monday at 6 a.m, tell all your friends, and we'll do another week which will contribute towards episode 183 of the podcast next week. Speaking of podcast, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.
Mark Denholm.
At breakfast.
Podcast.